Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the man of the moment, Colby Thicknesse, in the penthouse. Wow, really doing well. Here at the Meriton Suites. Oh no, wait, we paid for it. Don't forget where we are. Colby Thicknesse, UFC 312, mate. Aleks Topuria, you are the man of the moment. How sick are you of talking about this fight, this event, and then the whole media lead up?
Very sick of it. No, I'm enjoying all of it. It's very good. There's a great narrative already built in with a rivalry, and I've said it before, but it's the biggest probably debutant versus debutant matchup at UFC for a fair few years, so I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Do you think one of you guys is going to be like the real... Because, you know, Toupuria's hyped his guy up, Volk's hyped you up. One of you guys is really going to prove them right, and the other one is really going to let the guy down.
Someone's still coming to me. Somebody's either getting spammed. I know we're going to get spammed with Spanish and Georgian flags. Obviously, the spammed with Australian flags after this fight. It's all in between.
Have you been... Because my videos of you, anything talking about you, there was one where I think you just had Cody Haddon, so it looked like you, and it got like nothing but Georgian and Spanish flags. Have you been...
Yep, Georgian flags, Spanish flags, and lots of roses, actually.
Did you say even your girlfriend is being hit with Georgian flags?
Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah. And comments on like photos of us together on her Instagram saying something like, your boyfriend's going to get bashed. It looks like a little soy boy or something.
You do, but...
Yeah. It's not wrong.
Well, it is quite funny because like you're not physically intimidating. I mean, you're jacked, but like you're not physically intimidating. You've had that your entire life. Like, has it been hard trying to prove to everyone you're an MMA fighter type thing? Do you have to stalk someone every now and then?
Well, it's not hard because I think I have a presence where people can tell sort of thing. But say when I was working security and I'm actually 25, believe it or not. So you imagine me when I was 18 working security trying to kick grown men out of pubs. I look like a 12-year-old trying to tell these men what to do. So
then how did that go?
For the first 12 months, there was lots of altercations. But eventually, once I realised, he actually probably can fight, we should listen to the 12-year-old at the door. And then it sort of settled down a bit.
Or it was the other way around, are you running at Volk?
I'm like, you call my big brother. Fight UFC.
How you get them out? You just whip out a photo, like a police badge, like a whip out a photo of you and Volk, and you're like, "Sit."
I have one of me and Volk jiu-jitsu coming on the show. So let me get this guy on here.
Is that the one where everyone says it looks like you have leukemia?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that one. When I looked quite ill.
Is that? I mean, even in MMA in general, is that like why you got into it? Because you wanted to sort of.
Oh, he's like a fully victim.
Is that it, or is it just...
Nah, I'm a twin, so me and my twin used to fight, and I think Dad just got sick of us fighting at home, so he was like, go to the police boys club and you can just wrestle and box each other, and that sort of got our aggression out on each other that way.
Why isn't he as good as you?
Because at the age of 15 or 16, he discovered the joys of house parties, drinking and illicit substances, and I stuck to jiu-jitsu. So it's just that crossroads.
So, but don't you train with Craig Jones?
Yeah, but I was later on in my career. So I established myself enough where I could do that and still fight professionally. He sort of went too early, so it sort of shot himself in the foot.
Is it hard to avoid the party life? Because especially when, you're like cornering Volk, like I said, hanging out with Craig Jones, like you have the commitment of training and everything, but you don't, you can drink, you can eat a little bit more when you're in those situations. And you've got a lot of fans coming up to you. Is it hard to sort of stay on track?
Nah, not whatsoever. Because there's times where you have to stay focused, remain on your goals, and with times you can enjoy yourself. I'm very good at sort of separating the two sort of things. So there'll be last year, end of year, I had the 3 fights. I smashed them out to be this one. Had a couple of weekends to enjoy myself, then straight back on it to get in camp for this situation, which actually played out.
Have you done it this camp? Because I think you're paying $4.50 to win against the guy that I think has beaten people with a combined record of 12 and 27.
Yep.
So you obviously there's zero faith there. What's going on? Why do you think?
It's probably because people saw me at the club every night this week, and I haven't slept much, so that's probably why. It's just leaking how unprofessional I'm being this whole week. Yeah, that's why the odds are so swayed.
Is your brother Brody yet?
Not yet.
But they probably see him came for touch you, and they're like, "Fuck you, there's a kid."
Just smashing a bunch of Red Bulls at 7 in the morning at the Hilton. What's he doing?
Well, what's the whole thing been like for you? I mean, it was an absolute whirlwind. Like we said, you found out sitting in the car doing a security shift. It all kind of didn't seem believable. I bet it feels real now.
Yeah, it felt real pretty much Sunday morning, to be honest. But for some reason, it still doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. I think because I always knew I was going to get here and fight VOC, it's just cool it came around quicker than I thought. But when I had my pro debut at 20, I remember I was talking to Geordie after I did my first professional weight cut. And I was like, he's like, when do you want UFC? And I'm like, I want UFC by 25. And so it's happened. And so it's pretty familiar. It's pretty much everything I expected. I've been lucky enough to see Volk go through this whole process and everything. So I'm just soaking it in and just enjoying the moment.
Do you reckon that's kind of like a real one-up as well, is you have been in the situation with Volk, he's been in the situation with his brother Ilia. Like, you guys almost like aren't going to be afraid of all of this shit?
Yeah, I think I'm just very used to, very comfortable with all of this stuff. I've done the big fights in Oz, big fights overseas, main eventing. I've done heaps of media before. I've done all this. I'm used to all the noise and everything that comes with the intention. So it's good because I can lean into it and soak it and create the narratives, get more eyes and everything on me. But at the end of the day, I've got an objective to do come Sunday. Let's go out and win.
That's why I stirred up so much shit in your regional period. You know, he's too skinny ready. Exactly, too skinny ready. Do you have a bit of like, I mean, obviously not now, but after the fight, you're obviously going to have a weird sort of relationship with Aleks, regardless of the result, Aleks' career, that is, because he's gone through a very similar situation to you. This, what you're doing right now, you can't really relate to John McAuliffe and Quillan Southfield as much because there's not as much eyes on them. Where there's heaps of eyes on you, there's heaps of eyes on Aleks. Do you guys reckon you'll have that sort of like almost like mutual respect out of it?
I think there's already going to be that mutual respect. I'm a very respectful person with my opponents and everything like that. And regardless of the outcome, I always go up, shake their hands and everything. But I think it's a good way to frame it because people think there's a lot of pressure on me, where there's actually a lot more pressure on him. He's got so much hype and so much pressure to live up to his brother's expectations. So whatever I'm feeling, I guarantee he's feeling it twice as much as me.
You reckon there's pressure? You
or me?
Yeah.
Oh, there is pressure, but I don't really feel it that much. I just go out and just happy to do my thing. And like, I feel like there was more pressure for me getting to this point, but I knew how much a loss on a regional scene can set you back to the UFC. But now I'm here. I'm like, this is where I belong. So I just get to go out and do my thing.
Well, then what about the pressure of fighting in Bali? And I know everyone makes it look like people just go there to run up their records. But in a sense, if you lose in Bali, your career's over.
Legit, yeah, they built my last Chengdu was the one where I had that barley belly the morning on, so I was pretty fucked going into that fight. I couldn't get to eat or drink or rehydrate or anything. So
well, Kassim had to even pull out, didn't he? Get emailed.
Yeah, they got sick.
Assuming you got barley belly, but
they had stuff all over it. Oh. Yeah, he was dying. I had to run him to the hospital in the rain.
He still would have won.
Yeah.
But like, talk. I want to kind of go into those Bali fights a little bit because they have been critiqued, but like you're in there, right? You're feeling the opponent, like, and you're a pretty honest guy. Realistically, compare that to like a Michael Manu who you fought on a regional scene out of, say Michael Manu is a 10, right? Yeah. Where did those Bali fights realistically sit?
Like if you say the last Hex guy, the first Bali guy, especially one who was short notice, we made like a 4 or 5 sort of thing, but the Norman guy, I thought, his record's actually a lot better than what it has on Toupuria. He's actually had I think he's had like 20 or something for it. He has a pretty decent record. I mean, it was like 14 and like 6 or something like that with his pro kickbox and everything like that. But even then, I was able to get him out of there in the first round. But I think it's good to get the experience of just that cage time and knowing if somebody isn't on their level, you can just go out them and finish them straight away. So it's good to have that back in and believe in yourself. But also it's good too because I got to feel the pressure as I'm going out there to main event. I have to win. If I don't win in the first round in a good way, I probably shouldn't realistically get hit in this fight. So if I get hit, I'm going to get critiqued. So it's a lot of pressure on that. Whereas this one, I'm coming in as a massive underdog. So there's like very little pressure on me. Like obviously everybody in Australia that they knows the level and where I'm at. But for general pop watching or scrolling for Instagram, I'm like, oh, it's just a sacrificial lamb for the Toupuria brother. So it's going to be cool to go out there on Sunday.
And do you subscribe to this being a striker versus grappler matter?
No, it's going to be an MMA fight. I think because Aleksandre inspired. He does throw hands, but he doesn't have the same pop as his brother. He's got a wrestling background. I honestly think he's just going to try and throw big bombs, hit me in the body, and just try and get my back. I think because he's going to be his first fight at bantamweight, I think he's going to be able to like physically impose me. And to be honest, he's probably going to be stronger than me in the first round, but it's a 3-round fight, not a 1-round fight. So I'm very ready for as soon as he starts to tire, I could just start taking over.
Yeah, there has been critiques of his gas tank. Do you think they're valid?
I think so. They're valid. I think definitely they're going to be valid now as well. Drop it to this weight class. So he looked. I haven't seen him this week, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen him already, but apparently he's been pretty cooked this whole week already from a weight cut. Like I've said, he's never made the Division 4. He's always going to make it, but I think doing such a big cut, he's definitely going to leave some percent of himself at the weight cut. And unless you're coming in against 100% against me with your cardio, I don't think it's a good idea.
How do you feel about guys when like Toupuria comes over, right? And there's people you might know in Sydney. Say they open up their gym and let him come train there.
Yeah.
Are you like, you're dead to me?
Nah, I'm pretty careless. I could train in a room next to a fantastic one. It's all this. Yeah, I'm not like, I don't care. Do whatever I want. Doesn't faze me.
Have you ever hated an opponent?
Have I ever hated an opponent? Oh, no, I don't think so. Wait. I don't really have hate as an emotion in my body. Like,
Yeah, it's your view.
yeah, I get irritated. I'm like, that dude's annoying me, but it's probably as much as I go towards hating someone.
Do you have autism?
No, actually, funny story. I got tested as a kid in year 3 for some sort of learning disability because I was struggling, and I don't remember the results, but everybody was real nice to me after. So I think it's probably back.
So yes. You only talked about when you know there's a clip. So I don't really care what happens after this. The rest of the video. Speaking of viral clips, told you that, great flow. Jack Jenkins told a great story the other day about you really struggling to use the lift, the elevator, having a go, and there was a man in a nice suit, and you said, oh, that's a nice suit, after you said this hotel's a piece of shit, and then you said, I'm the manager of a hotel. So is that a true story?
Yeah, so what happened was, at the Hilton, there's a back left lift. And so my key cards won't work on that lift. So my first day here, I've probably spent 5 minutes going from basement to ground 30-something, trying to figure this out. So I got off, went to another lift, I'm like, my key cards are fine. Next morning, happened again, and I was like, fuck. Then it happened the third time, and I was like, I'm done with this lift. So it's the lift. It's the lift side, not my key card. My key card works. So then I finished the session, and I'm in like dirty crocs, shirtless, sweating and everything. And I think his teammate Jake was in the lift with me. And then we're just chatting and that. I was like, how you finding lifts? He's like, oh. I'm like, bro, that lift over there fucking sucks. Like, it hasn't worked for me whatsoever. Key cards are dodgy as. Then we're just chatting away, and like, dude in a suit just standing, and I was like, you're just pretty fancy, mate. What do you do? He's like, I'm a manager. I was like, well, you got to fix up. But then it's like, we've had complaints about it, so I'm not the only one. So it's not my autism. It's actually the lift, which is that Volk.
Oh, that's what I love about it. Has it been different for you in this journey doing it yourself? Like, obviously, when you come with Volk, you've probably stayed in the penthouse getting helicopters to train and stuff. But, like, with you, you know, you've got to get a camel. But, like, how does it compare? And are you sort of like, oh, it's not as great being a debutant? Or you're like what's the sort of difference that you notice?
I think it's better because I'm getting to do this now. And as for the whole process and everything, I think because I know I'm going to be able to get to where Volk is in his career over the next few years. So it's just, I'm enjoying every moment. Like, you're only able to get one UFC debut. So I think it's cool to just be able to go around, get a couple photos with people who recognize you and stuff like that, and then stay in like still great hotel rooms and that, but nothing big or fancy, and just sort of enjoy each thing and each improvement as it grows with your career as a fighter.
Do you want the high life?
Not really. I just want to be financially secure where I could just train full time and fight, and then don't have to worry about bills, rent, or anything like that. Like, I'm not a very materialistic person. Like, I've worn the same outfit, this in red and black and white this whole week. Like, I've got fake Yeezys on from Bali. Like, I'm not trying to impress anyone. Like, I'm just happy just to do my thing and cruise.
Oh, are you saying that your sponsors don't look after you well enough?
No. The fuss is good. But who knows? Though people think you're a UFC, they see Yeezys, they're definitely real. There's no way a UFC guy making his debut is going to be wearing fake Yeezys around the hotel. So I spend $20 on these. It's better however much they normally cost.
There's also a trick too, like people go, oh, Mitch, do you do this full time? And I go, yeah. And then they assume that I make a full-time wage.
Exactly.
No, I'm a full-time fighter. I make part-time wage, but
if you're lucky.
But like, do you know how far away it is to sort of do this full time? You know, at what amount you need per fight and everything?
Oh, realistically, off this contract, as long as I keep winning, I'm set. Like, yeah, I'll be able to just keep fighting because I don't have many expenses going out. I've got good sponsors who support me with my fights. I've got sponsors who look after me for my meals. I've got my nutrition sorted, my supplements sorted, my training's already sorted. So I coach, PT, and then I fight. And the increase from the regional scene to the UFC scene is more than enough to cover me to continue to do this full time without having to work any more part-time work, such as security shifts in a cup.
Yeah, but you had a girlfriend now, so that's halved, because you'll pay the dates.
My wage is, I have to be very careful what I say because she's right there, is not as much as the contract says.
Speaking of the contract, I mean, I got some dodgy intel. I heard it was a 1-fight deal. It's apparently 4.
I'm not, like I said, I'm reading your fucking contract, Colby. Well, it is 4. It was 4 I signed for because the increases are for each fight. But Sean on the phone to Volk was like, he has to win. He has to win or we're not doing any more with it. But then I signed a 4. So I don't know, I don't know.
I think they would have done, yeah.
They locked me in, so if I win, they have me at this, I can't renegotiate or anything like that.
That's what I was asking you at the press day. It's like, you can't just win. Like, if you win boring, like, they'll fucking...
I think they said I can win boring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just have to win.
I just have to win.
So he's just going to win boring?
Back foot jabs.
Would you rather have, like, take him down, hold him down for 3 rounds, or would you rather have, like, the one you have with Senfi Kembo, where you got knocked down? Like,
No, hey, I don't want to get hit in the head anymore than I have already. I've got quite a extensive career history of hit in the head, so...
Don't train with Volk. What are you expecting?
the more head trauma I can avoid, so if I just jab and shoot for 15 minutes, that's great for my body.
I asked this question mainly for, just engagement online. But talk about, like, Volkanovski and what he has meant to not just you, but everyone in the entire team. Like, what is it that kind of makes him so selfless? Because he's a superstar. He doesn't need you guys. You were fucking moved on a long time ago. It's like, you know what I mean? But he's still at the same gym he started, training with the same literal child he started with. It's like, why does he do that?
I think it's just a character reflection of himself. Like, I always tell people, like, has Volk changed since he's started and where he's got? And he hasn't changed in any negative way. The only way he's changed is, I think, with more fame comes more resources, more money and everything like that. So the further he got in his career, the more he could show him true self by, like, giving him that. So he's, all the flight trips and that, where I've been lucky enough to be a part of, he's covered me for all of them. Like, I haven't had to focus, and he looked after me when we did the Ortega fight, got COVID, it cancelled. I didn't have to pay for a thing for 3 months in Vegas. He was looking after me for that, and I think it just shows his true character, and, like, he's just very loyal to his day one people, and it's just, like I said, it's just sort of good example is Conor McGregor in a sense of the opposite, and like money and power just reflects your true self, and you can see the path he's went down compared to the path Volk's went down with it.
Yeah, plus Volk just handballs his cocaine to Craig Jones. Like, in all that sense of like, well, Volk with training, and he always is like, well, tough rounds with you and Jarrett Wilgrim and Justin Van Heerden and Sepp Saleh, and I'm always like, you're lying, Volk. Bet you smoked all 4 of them. But it's like, how do you guys actually go against a Volk?
Well, they are hard rounds, but just because it's a hard round doesn't mean we're winning them rounds. But we can give him looks in that, especially when he's in camp. And the best way, like, how we have to do it is you have to try and get him tired. So he might do 1 round with me, next round with Justin, 3rd round with Seb, 4th round with Jarrett. So, like, we're peaking for them rounds. So if we're in the safe way going 100%, given that all the obviously not trying to numb each other out, that when we're with each other in between, we might go over 70, 80 so we can give Volk the best look sort of thing for him to try and emulate the intensity and that sort of thing. But there are hard rounds. Like, we can take him down, we can hit him and everything like that. But just because it's a hard round doesn't mean he's losing any of them rounds sort of thing. You can get the hard working without dropping around sort of thing.
Well, I mean, you talked about, how great he is, but hasn't he, like, injured you, like, 4 times?
Yes. At least 4. No, yes, what he's done the back, the ribs, the head, and the heart. Heart was the worst.
Breaks your heart every single
training.
Yeah.
No, but that's great, and it is quite beautiful. This is almost like full circle moment, and you can see the pride in his face with you. How happy was he when you told him that the UFC was on the doorstep?
Oh, he was ecstatic. The only annoying thing was him and Joe were over in New Zealand, so I had to do it over a phone call. But as I was on the phone to Joe, I hear Volk talking in the background. I probably spoke to Joe for 2 minutes. And then as I was hanging up, Joe's like, oh, Volk's already called Sean. He was like, that at like 10:30 at night, New Zealand time, he's already onto that much. He was pumped for it. And like, he had a couple of sleepless nights, like just waiting to hear back and everything like that. So it's quite cool to know to have someone that close to you and that high up where you want to get supporting you like that.
Well, mate, as we round this out, you are like, on the eve of the most important fight of your life. You spoke in the Embedded series about how, sometimes you go to the jetty to just sort of, when it all gets too overwhelming, and you just sort of reset and kind of remember why you're here and why you do this and that sort of stuff. How do you do that in Sydney?
Beautiful botanical gardens. Just go smell some roses.
Is it about that, though? Is it sometimes about just resetting and remembering that you just love this?
I think so, yeah. And there's a good chapter in one of my favourite books, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. It says, meditate on the immensity of things. And I like cities like this because I can legit look at this penthouse where we are. Shut up here, Pete. And I can look out and I can be like, realistically, not a single person with everything going on there gives a fuck about what I do. And that's a very powerful feeling to know, as much as there's expectations, pressure and everything, it's all pretty much inside my own head. Like, anybody who cares about you, they only care about you and want to see you do well because they know how much it means to you. They're still going to love you, respect you, regardless of how you go in your career or how fights and that play out. They just want to be safe, healthy, and enjoying what you're doing. So I think just grounding myself that way and just constantly reminding myself, you only get this chance once to make your debut, so just make the most of it.
And this might be your sort of final chat before you make that walking into the cage. Is there kind of anything that you want people to know just before you do kind of burst your way onto the scene?
Yeah, I'm paying $4.50. Chuck some money on me.
Oh, Colby, it's been a weird ride and it is now only just beginning. And I'm really glad I invested in you early. Good. Yeah.